Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 15, lecture number 17. Friends, in this chapter, from the very beginning itself, we started discussing about the important point, that is the economic development. Friends, as we are learning economics, here to understand economic development is very important. Friends, this is our last lecture of this chapter. So, obviously, before completing this chapter today, let us go through a little bit what we have discussed throughout in this chapter, and then we will cover the last topic of today, that is the public sector and the private sector. Friends, before going through that, let us understand and make a revision of what we did in this chapter up to now. Friends, as you all are aware, from the very beginning itself, we discussed about the economic development. We understood that economic development is only not important. Here, only the development in economy is not important. But for a country, overall development is very much necessary. Here, the development should also be in the society. That is, the social development is also that much important as the economic development. Friends, we also discussed about the three indicators through which this economic development is measured. From the very beginning, we discussed about these three indicators. First is the national income of the country. National income, that is the total income of any country, is considered as the national income. Then we discussed about the second indicator, that is the per capita income. What is per capita income? Here it is said that whatever national income is of the country is divided with the total population, and that is the per capita income. Friends, the third indicator is the standard of living. The facilities that the people are getting in the country, like transportation, communication, health, education, entertainment, this all is the standard of living. Friends, we discussed about the difference between economic growth and economic development. We discussed that for a layman, for a common person, it doesn't seem any kind of difference between economic growth and economic development. But actually there is some major difference between economic growth and economic development. If we talk about economic growth, here it is said there are three major differences. The first major difference, according to the development, we can say the development, that is, if there is any increase in the quantitative aspect, that is, if there is increase in the national income and per capita income, then it is considered as economic growth, because here there is increase in the quantitative aspect. While on the other side, if there is increase in the standard of life, that is the quality of the people, that is quantitative aspect, it is considered as economic development. Friends, we also discussed about the second major difference, that is in the difference in the change of economy. If the production is increased through different researches and technologies, by using different researches in any field, then that is considered as economic development. We also discussed with the example in farming, that if a farmer increases the production by using hybrid seeds and fertilizers, then it is called economic development. But if the same farmer is increasing the production by occupying more agricultural land, then it is called economic growth. Friends, we also discussed about the major difference on developing and developed countries. If the national income of developing country is increased, it is considered as economic growth. But if the national income of developed country is increased, then it is considered as economic development. Friends, after that, we also discussed about the features of any developing countries, in which we discussed about the different features like less per capita income. Always the per capita income remains less in developing countries. Then we discussed about unemployment. Here the unemployment remains more than 3%. we discussed about dependence on agriculture. In such kind of developing countries, they are dependent on the primary sector, that is agriculture products and agriculture for the increasing their national income. Then we also discussed poverty as an important feature, in which we discussed that more than 1/3 of the population in such type of country lives under the state of poverty. We also discussed the population growth playing a very important role. More than 2% is the population growth rate in such kind of developing countries. We discussed about the dual economy also, where two types of progress. In the villages we can see the development is stable, while on the other side we can see lots of development. Then we discussed about the unequal distribution of income, in which we discussed that the 14% of our national income is shared with 20% of the richest family, while on the other side 20% of the poorest family share only 10% of our national income. We also discussed about the improper infrastructure facilities, in which we discussed that such type of countries do not have proper infrastructure facilities for the citizens. We discussed about the forms of international trade, in which we discussed that here the form of export and import is not proper. Here the expense that is to import is more than the income that is earned from export, and that is why the foreign debt is increased of such type of developing countries. Friends, we also discussed about the primary sector, secondary sector and service sector in this. After this, in which we discussed that any activity that is based on agriculture, agro products, mineral ores, these all are considered as primary sector. Here the income remains low. While on the other side, we also discussed about the secondary sector. Whatever activity that is done to manufacture anything, we can say industry, that from manufacturing from a small bean to genetic machine, each and everything is considered as secondary sector. Third sector that we discussed, that is the service sector, in which we clearly understood that whatever activity that provides service to us, like entertainment, tourism, education, transportation, communication, these all comes into the service sector. Here the income remains high. We also discussed about the factors of production, in which we discussed about the factors of production, in which land, capital, labor and entrepreneurship are the four factors of production. Land, whatever natural resources are involved in the production, that are known as the part of land. Capital is a part of man-made resources. Whatever man-made resources are involved in the production, that are a part of capital. Then we discussed about the labor. Any person doing any kind of physical or mental work are considered as labor. So labors are also very much important for any kind of production activity. Fourth, that we understood, that is entrepreneurship. We discussed about entrepreneur. The person who combines all the above three factors, that is land, capital and labor, is known as entrepreneur. And the person that is all this activity to combine all these things, that is called as entrepreneurship. After that, we discussed about the different market system. We discussed about socialist system. We discussed about mixed economy. Market system, when we are discussing about market system, it is also known as market mechanism system. Here, in this type of system, all the resources, production resources, are owned by the individual or the businessman. They are totally free to take any type of economic decision related to pricing and productions. Here, the person invests on such kind of industries which give them more profit. Here, profit is always at the center while doing any kind of trading or any kind of business. Friends, when we are talking about the mixed economy, here competition plays a very major role, and that is why capital investment is seen more. Here, the evil of monopoly is clearly seen. Profit is always at the center, and that is why this system is also known as capitalist system. Then we discussed about the socialist system, which is totally opposite of this, in which all the production resources are owned by the state or the government. Here, needs of the society is always at the center. Social welfare remains at the center. All the production are done on the basis of the needs of the society, and that is why the wastage of resources is not seen over here. Here, the governments do the production that is necessary for the society. Here, even the farming is owned by the government. They pay the farmers the wages as per their ability. So friends, we understood about the socialist system where there is each and everything is owned by the government. Here, socialist system was adopted because to fulfill the limitations of the market system. Then we discussed about mixed economy. To overcome the limitations of market system and socialist system, mixed economy was introduced. In mixed economy, we can see the private sector and public sector both coexist. Here, there is the interference of government as well. Government puts certain restrictions on the production of luxurious goods and unwanted things. And on the other side, government also encourages the owners to establish industries in rural areas and gives them concession in certain forms like subsidies, loans, cheap land, etc. so that they can increase the economic development. Friends, here social welfare is also seen in mixed economy. So friends, we discussed about all these things, about the limitations and benefits of all these three systems. Today, here we are going to now discuss about the public sector and private sector. Let us start understanding about public sector and private sector. Public sector and private sector, or we can say private sector and public sector. Friends, here when we are discussing about these two questions, about these two topics, obviously we need to keep in mind that this can be asked as an individual question as well, and this can be asked as the difference also in your board exams. Important question, it is asked several times. So here let us go through understanding both these sector, that is private sector and public sector. Let us start with public sector. Let us start with public sector. If we talk about public sector, public sector is a part of market economy. As we discussed previously, public sector is a part of market economy, which is made up of organizations. Public sector is a part of market economy which is made up of organization and enterprises that are put here in market economy, which is here organization and enterprises. They are owned either by the government. These in public sector, all the organization and enterprises that are owned either by the government or government has some share in it. Friends, if we clearly understand over here, it is say what is in public sector? public sector is a part of market economy which is made of organizations. Here it is made of organization and enterprises. Here public sector is a part of market economy in which it is made up of lots of organization and enterprises are present in public sector which are owned either by the government or government has some or the other part share in that particular organization or enterprises. Means government has totally either the total ownership is of the government or there is a partnership of the government. Means the government has some share in it. In that organization, either it is totally owned by the government or the government has some or the other share in it. Here it is said, main aim of the public sector is to benefit the people. Main aim of the public sector. What is the main aim of the public sector? Here we say the main aim of the public sector is to benefit the people. Means they look after the benefit of the people. That is the main aim of this public sector. Here, need of the society is always given importance. If we talk about the public sector, it is said that the need of the society is always given importance. Here, always what is the need of the society? That is given more importance. Here, need of the society is always given importance, as well as whatever is beneficial for the people, that is the main aim of this public sector. Here, let us search examples of such public organizations are. Let us share some examples of this public organization like railways, LIC. Friends, you are very much aware about the LIC, that is Life Insurance Corporation. Etc. So friends, these are some of the examples that are of public organizations like railways, roadways. We can also consider railways, roadways, LICs. There are lots of such things, telegraph. These all are such kind of public organizations that are owned by the government for the public beneficial, looking at the need of the people. So this was the information about public sector. Let us understand about private sector now. Friends, let us understand about private sector now. Here it is said, private sector is a part of market economy. Here it is said, private sector is a part of market economy which is made up of individuals, which is made up of individuals, companies, and organizations. Individuals, companies, and organizations. that are owned privately. Here we say private sector is a part of economy which is made up of individual companies and organizations that are owned privately. Here, main aim of private sector is to earn profit. Here, the main aim of this market system is to earn profit. So, profit plays a major role over here. Competition is also seen at many places in private sector. In private sector, competition is also seen. Let us share some examples. Examples of private sectors are Vadilal, Tata, Indigo, Tata we can say, or Reliance. So the etc. These are some of the examples of these private sectors. So friends, here we have clearly understood about these sectors. Private sector is a part of market economy which is made up of individual companies and organizations, but that are owned privately. Means the owner of that companies or organization or that enterprise is privately owned. Main aim of this private sector is to earn profit. Not social welfare. Here in private sector, the main goal is to earn maximum profit. Competition is seen, obviously, where profit earning is there. Competition is seen in this sector at many places. And examples are given like Vadilal, Tata, Reliance, such kind of companies are there which are considered as their private sector. So friends, you have understood about this private sector and public sector. Thank you.